Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit Palvanov, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom podcast. This is Dorit Palvanov, your host. I want to say thank you to all the people who are returning listeners and welcome to the new listeners. I know we have some new listeners of the show, so welcome. I also want to say thank you to all the people who are rating and reviewing the show. This is so helpful. And if you haven't done so yet, please, this is such a great declaration of love for me and for the show and for the message that I'm sharing here. If you go over to iTunes and rate and review the show, please be nice. And this is really helpful. It helps iTunes to bump the show up and so that more mothers can find the show and consume this message. All right. So today on the show, I wanted to talk about a topic that actually took me a long time to decide to publish, because I have to be totally honest. This is very raw, very vulnerable on my end. But at the same time, I know that when we are leaders, like Brené Brown says, we have to dare to lead. Being a leader it's nice and it's fun, but it's also, there is responsibility that we carry. It's like the famous line in what's the movie, Spider-Man. I remember that. I'm not too much into sci-fi movies, but I remember that quote when his dad or his uncle told him, with great power comes great responsibility. And it's true. So as a leader, I have to assume this responsibility and lead by example and show you, that first of all, that I'm human and I also feel the things that you feel. And also as a mother who wants to raise girls that have a very strong sense of self, that have a very strong sense of self-reliance and being true to themselves, living in full integrity and authenticity with who they are, so that they're able to move through the clutter and bypass, unnecessary or dangerous or suspicious advice or people. This has to come from a place of me leading by example. And so this is what I'm doing here. I hope this resonates with you. I hope this touches you. And please feel free to reach out to me and let me know if this is something that you enjoyed listening. So today we're talking about dealing with jealousy, feeling small and not good enough. And as women, as humans really, but as even more so as women, oh gosh, this is something that is a common thread. I hear it on my coaching calls all the time. We all go back to it. I see it in my girls. I see it in their friends. I see it in my close circle of friends, other mothers, of my family members. It happens to all of us. So today on the show, I just wanted to maybe show that you are not alone if you're feeling jealous or small or not good enough. And hopefully my example will be able to help you to feel like you are okay feeling like this. And then, of course, how to shift from this energy and how to move into how and what you really want to be. So, like I said on the show, I am going to share something that I've realized in my own life recently, and I wanted to share it with you. This is going to sound a little bit like a rant mixed with some empowering content, hopefully. And of course, as always, a few actionable tasks for you that will help you to shift and move away towards the life that you do want to have and live. So here we go. So it all started a few weeks ago, when I woke up in the morning feeling achy in my chest. I felt restlessness and almost like I want to scream, yell, and tantrum all day long, right? So definitely there was some energy that was just stagnant in my body. It was mostly around my chest area. Which corresponds to the heart chakra, which you'll see as we move along here today. It makes total sense as to why I was feeling like this. So feeling jealousy, not good enough, feeling small, feeling like you are somehow less than somebody else. Most likely this feeling will be stored in the chest area. Okay, so that's what happened to me. So basically that was the opposite of happy, contentment, relaxation, feeling calm, and all the desired core feelings that Danielle Laporte taught me, and hopefully you too. So the first thing I always do is to check in with myself physically, right? Which phase am I on in my menstrual cycle? Can it be that hormonally I am out of balance? What did I eat that could have contributed to this feeling? Am I hydrated? Did I sleep enough? When was the last time I have had an orgasm? So all these things that we should be having as these are basically our basic human needs. So we always start there. And so after all those things were in somewhat a check, I've jumped to the next thing. So the next thing was what's happening in the world around me right now. Where is the moon located? And immediately I've realized that the most prevalent thing that is happening in the world right now, and I'm recording this in December. What's today's date? The 14th of December of 2018. We are before the holiday. No, not before. We are very well into the holiday season. Everybody's getting ready. Everybody's, there's anxiety everywhere, and I've been feeling this in my own life personally, but also on my calls with my clients. The holiday season is stressful for all of us, because this is the time when, we have to meet and get together with, family members that a lot of us don't really like. So there's always this aunt or this sibling, or there is co-worker, or maybe somebody in your extended family, or even your closest family members that you just you don't feel very aligned with or close with, and there's a lot of judgment, a lot of kind of that emotion that you don't want to confront these people, but then you have to. And so all of this kind of, all this feeling creates this anxiety, and I get it. We all feel it. So as an intuitive empath, I feel all of this stuff in my chest, like I said, and the way to fix or remedy this is to simply learn how to protect yourself energetically. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit at the end. But really, it all comes down to boundaries. So I did my ritual, I did my self-mothering, I did my self-parenting, I took it to my journal, and I felt pretty good with regards to containing and protecting myself from, this energy that is around us. But still, this feeling didn't leave me. Now, you ladies are wives and mothers like me, so I'm asking you, what happens in your life when you feel like this for a long time, over a long period of time? What happens in your home? How does this affect your relationship with your spouse, with your kids? How will this feeling affect how you are showing up in your life? So in my life, for example, I felt like I am snappier with the kids. I'm short-tempered. I just want space and time for myself. I just want to be alone. I just want time and space to just process that feeling, right? But then it's not a luxury that as a mother I have, because I still have to wake up each morning and get my kids together for school, serve the breakfast, prepare their lunches, and then greet them and, take them to school and bring them back from school. And just, and as a mom, this is just a huge no-no for me. I want to show up as a good, nice, kind mom. I don't want them to remember me as a monster. And then, but yet, I'm feeling all these feelings in my chest, in my body, and it just became so difficult for me. And then with my husband, I'm just like, whatever. I cut him off. I'm not respectful. I don't even create a time and space to be with him and connect with him. And so that is why this is why this matters. This is why it is important for us women to learn how to process all of these feelings. Okay? And today I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into how it actually looks like in my life personally, and then I'm going to give you some ideas as to what you can do to help support yourself. When your cup is empty, when you feel like your needs are not being met, you cannot possibly give to anyone, right? So here I was feeling like crap, but not really knowing what was the source of it until yesterday's yoga practice. So since I practice yoga, which to me is the ultimate practice of embodiment and feeling connected to myself and my true authentic being, yesterday after my yoga practice, I've had this epiphany. So of course, I feel like this. I am jealous. It is really hard to admit because I do want to feel like I am stronger than this. But guys, let's be honest. I am human. We are human. And, why are we so afraid of admitting that we are jealous? And that we want something that someone else has, and because we don't yet have it, we feel jealous. Jealousy is not a feeling that is reserved only for children. As adults, it's okay to feel jealous, okay? And it's okay to admit it. Being jealous doesn't mean that I'm not capable of achieving, that which I want. But my human experience is teaching me to lean into my current situation and where I am right now in my life. And instead of looking outside of myself, just look within. So before we go any further, let me tell you why I got jealous. So a couple of weeks ago, I've subscribed to a new podcast someone recommended. And as a podcaster myself, I am also a podcast listener. I love listening to podcasts. To me, I just really don't have the time to watch movies or consume information visually. To me, it's much easier to just plop my headphones and to consume information, whatever I need to learn, through my ears, right? It is an auditory way of consuming information. So one of these podcasts is Rachel Hollis's podcast called Rise, which is mostly for women in business who are working on building themselves and their companies. And the other is her podcast with her husband, David Hollis, and this podcast is called Rise Together, which is all about creating an exceptional marriage and relationship and all of that. So honestly, I have nothing bad to say about these two podcasts. They're amazing. They have amazing content, great hosts, interesting topics. Both of these podcasts are all about personal growth and development and being the very best version of yourself, personally, professionally, and of course also in your relationships. Now, so up until now, really you think, what's wrong with that? Isn't that what we all want? Isn't this what I want? So, well, yes, 100%. But then here's what I, or my subjective being, meaning my ego, this is what I've picked up on top of the goodness. Okay? So pay close attention here. These are the subtle things that are circling at the back of my mind, sucking the life and the energy beneath my feet. And the bottom line, they are making me feel like crap or not good enough. Okay, so to me, that was the source of this feeling of yucky and agitation and just restlessness in my chest. So here's what happened. The last few podcasts of the Rise Together show were solo episodes of David talking about his own personal life and his views on how Rachel is this amazing wife and woman and business owner, and how much he's proud of her for building all this without really needing him or without needing his financial support, and how much he wasn't supportive of her vision in the beginning and how much regret he has. And, she was right then and she's right now. She's just amazing, basically, And here there is a man who is so approving of his wife, and he's so proud of her, and he's just all about, she's amazing and incredible and blah, blah, blah. And I truly know that Rachel is incredible. I'm so proud of her, everything she has achieved, of her book, and I know she's writing she's writing another book, and her documentary show, and her website, and the work that she's doing in the world, and her live events, and really, she's incredible. I have nothing to say about that. But the truth is that this is my trigger, and I have to be fully honest with myself here. Right? To me, this is pain. Here, I admit, I felt so jealous. So jealous. Why? Because I want that too. I want to be that amazing woman, that amazing wife, and that amazing mother. I want to build this amazing empire that supports my family's dreams, and I want my dream and vision to take off and be picked up by media and the news and Lewis House. And all I want to be is this incredible woman who is uplifting and inspiring and living her truth. And I also want to be on stage and share my message and inspire women and mothers to be their very best. But most of all, guys, I want my husband to be proud of me. I want to hear him say that about me too. I want to know that I have created something that I can be proud of myself. Okay? So, and here's where this is kind of sick and super unhealthy. He is. My husband is. He is my cheerleader number one. He's always been. Even when I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years and I haven't contributed financially to our household, even then he supported and loved me all the way through. But I didn't see it. I don't see it because to me, my ego is all about, oh no, but look at them. Look at what they have. Look at this amazing couple. Look at how amazing, what they have built together. Oh, what I have doesn't matter. That's not good enough. What my husband gives me or what I give to him or to our family, that's not good enough. It can be better. I should be better. I have to be better. Look at them. Look at what they have, right? But the truth is that this is my trigger. This is my pain point. The truth is that it has nothing to do with my husband. It has nothing to do with Dave or Rachel Hollis. It is me. It is my ego. It is me not feeling proud of myself. And I have to be honest that this is my Achilles heels. This is essentially what I am working on so hard on healing from, right? And this has been a common thread in my life throughout my entire life, not just in my adult life, in my childhood as well, because I was that child. I am the oldest in my family, and I was the child who always was, the performer, and I did really well with school and with friends, and I was always this kick-ass child. And my mom and my grandmother and my parents, they all always were so proud of me. And then when I grew up and I started having my own family, I had to face the fact that you're not that great. And I'm not that amazing. And I had to learn how to cultivate that feeling of being proud of myself on my own, without depending on or relying on somebody else's words of affirmation of me, right? So it's that need to have someone else to soothe my pain, to make me feel better, to take the pain away. But that is an illusion, and that is never going to happen until I step up, until I rise, like Rachel says. It is my job as a human being to learn how to cultivate this sense of pride internally, right? And no one can do this for me. No one. So when I listen to podcasts like these, then I feel less than or worse than. And it makes total sense. Because here again, I have exposed myself to the possibility that I might get hurt. Right? So right here, I have two choices. Choice number one, I can keep consuming this content and allow myself to consciously feel hurt, because now I do have the awareness. So I can consciously keep feeling hurt and less than. It's hard to do, but it's totally possible. Yet I want you to keep in mind that until I have resolved this within myself, this trigger is going to be activated inside of me constantly. And for as long as I feel less than, it will leak out my energy out, and I will feel small and inferior. Right? And that's just the way it is. This is just psychology, right? So until I feel like this is resolved inside of me, it is almost stupid and silly to keep consuming this kind of content, right? So choice number two, which is what I'm going to do, is to be in full integrity with myself right now, at this point. I'm not talking about a year from now, not 5 or 10 years from now. Today, December of 2018, the Dorit that is today, at this point in time. And I have to admit that I'm still working on healing this. This is still very much a wound. It's not yet a scar, I'm still working on mothering and self-parenting myself and loving that little girl inside of me that needs to feel proud of herself and the work that she's doing in the world, right? So what does this mean on a practical level? Unfortunately to me, well, maybe fortunately, this means that I have to unsubscribe from the Rise Together podcast until I feel that I can bear this again. So I know that this could sound radical to some of you, and I know some of you are thinking, yes, but don't you want to grow? And don't you think that by unsubscribing you are not really healing, but you're just hiding from the truth? And don't you think that by pretending like it's not there, you're not really resolving anything? So yes, this could be true, but I also have to be super conscious and deliberate about what this kind of content is doing to my psyche today, okay? Meaning, what is this triggering in me that I might not even be aware of, right? But now that I am aware, I have made the choice. Hearing this is not making me a better wife. It doesn't make me a better mom, because in my head, I constantly have this on repeat. It's like a loop of self-judgment, self-sabotage, and then I don't show up the way I want to in my marriage and my parenting. So then what is the point, right? I have to ask myself, is it worth it, right? At this moment in time, do I need to feel triggered? Or should I be focusing my very limited, guys, you know, as mothers, our energy is limited, right? It's fatigued, you know, and it's still healing. Let's be honest, you know. So maybe it would be much better and healthier, in air quotes, for me to be focusing my very limited, fatigued, and healing life force into what matters to me, into highlighting the fact that I am working on my vision, on my dream, on building my community and spreading my message. Or reminding myself that I have a beautiful marriage and a beautiful family that needs me to love myself, not compare myself to someone else, right? So I guess what I'm saying here is that there's amazing content online. You know, I like to think of myself as being extremely deliberate and conscious with what I expose my eyes and ears to. You know, if I see content that is uplifting and helping me to feel good about myself, then I will keep consuming it. But is this content, even if it's good or healthy, you know, if this content is messing up with my psyche, I don't want to be a part of it. Right? Like Rachel says, if you're willing and ready to change your life, you can do that with a high school diploma and a Google search bar. But comparing my 1 year in business to her 15 years in business is not in alignment with how I want to feel. And so I have to take care of myself. And I have to say, it is my responsibility to say thank you, but no thank you. To me, this is self-love. To me, this is living with a strong sense of self and a strong sense of discernment. I know what I need, and I am not afraid to walk this talk. This is what I want for my daughters, and this is what I want for you too. Yes, this could mean that I am still not strong enough, not bearing enough, not fierce enough, and that's okay. I am okay feeling this way. I am human. I am fully aware of that. And I choose this for myself. And you have to choose for yourself as well. So now it's your turn. Do you feel yucky and not good enough in your life? Especially now, I feel like this is a very strong thing that is happening around the holiday season. You know, and I can almost with certainty say that you do. So ask yourself, what is under this? So number one, like I've done with my own, you know, checking in process, ask yourself, are you living in alignment with your feminine current? Meaning, are you eating, exercising, socializing, mothering, you know, working, playing, etc.? All of this, is it in alignment with your menstrual cycle, right? Because as a woman, you have to know, you have to understand how you're built, how you're designed, what are you coded for, right? Are you honoring your female body and the wisdom of your hormones and your female needs? Okay, so this is number one. And then the second thing is asking yourself, what is happening in the world right now? Where is the moon located? You know, are there any major events that are happening in the world? And could you be picking up on that energy? You know, so ask yourself, how can you protect your energy from that? So like I promised, something that I do, it's a deep practice of basically shielding and guarding your energy from the outside world. And I do this through a guided meditation of envisioning like you are inside of a bubble and no one can get in, right? So You can totally find meditations like these on YouTube, online. There are tons of them, right? So I would highly encourage you to start practicing this kind of self-protection and self-shielding, not only for yourself, but also for your children, because especially if you're raising kids who are highly sensitive, this is what they need to learn to do as well, right? And then always reciting to yourself, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I'm safe in my life. I'm safe in my body. Okay? This is number 2. And then the third thing, asking yourself, are you living in full integrity with yourself? What are you exposing yourself to on a daily basis that could stir up emotions of inferiority, not enoughness, self-loathing, self-judgment, etc., etc.? In my experience, like I shared here today, social media is something we all do and we will always do. I think it's dumb to tell you stop using social media, okay? Because it is unrealistic. Plus, we need to do something when we're in the bathroom, right? Am I the only one using social media in the bathroom? I know I'm not. Anyways, but what I will recommend you to do is check in with yourself and see what is coming up on your feed that could mess up with your psyche right now. Are you seeing too many exercise junkies with 6-packs and you're still recovering from emotional eating? If yes, it is a good idea to put that on hold for now. Not for forever, but for now, until you're ready for it, maybe in a couple of years. So delete, unsubscribe, unfollow. Or maybe your feed is full of happy couples who are traveling around the world with their families and you just lost your job and feeling like this is triggering you. So my love, delete, unsubscribe, unfollow. Or maybe your feed is showing beautiful women who are all dressed up beautifully with the style and makeup, and you've just given birth and you feel lonely and secluded from everyone, let alone feeling pretty. So my love, delete, unsubscribe, unfollow. Okay, so you've got the point. We all have triggers. It is okay to admit that you have them. You are human. Not only are you human, but you are also a hormonal being. And a lot of these feelings are actually surfacing up because of imbalanced hormones and a malnourished body. Right? So this is the next level of healing. And I do invite you to explore this within yourself, and look at that closely. And if you need help with that, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help and guide you in that direction. Until then, please, you have my permission to delete, unsubscribe, or unfollow anything or anyone who you still cannot stand against or contain. It's okay. I want you to know that I am doing the same. Okay? Choose yourself first, always, always. This is how we thrive as women, wives, and mothers, right? By first admitting the problem and then taking the necessary action in order for us to live the life that we want to live. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. I hope it made sense. I hope that you guys feel a little bit closer to me and feel like this resonates with you. And if it did, please let me know. I would love to know your thoughts. You can find me over on Instagram, again, social media. Hopefully, I'm not the person who is cluttering your podcast feeds or your inbox. And if I am, please feel free. You have my permission to unsubscribe from my stuff. If you feel like whatever I'm sharing here is too much for you to bear for right now, that's okay. I'm giving you permission to do so. I do not want to clutter or make noise in your life, right? I want you to live in integrity. I want you to step into your potential as a human being, as a woman, and I want you to raise your family from that place. So So like I said, hit me up on Instagram. I go by @DoritPalvanov, or you can find me on Facebook, Dorit Palvanov. And also, like I said, the on-air coaching calls are coming up. I have already recorded a couple of really good interviews for you guys. I cannot wait to share them with you. If this is something that you're interested in exploring, please head on over to my website, www.healthbeginswithmom.com/on-air coaching. This is for, if this is new to you, you've never heard me talk about this, this is basically a new segment that I'm adding to the show, and it's going to be recorded coaching calls of me with other women, with wives, with mothers who are struggling in their lives, who are feeling like they're stuck too much in their head, judging themselves, feeling they have control issues, feeling things like perfectionism, or they're just feeling out of alignment in their life for whatever reason. And they call into the show and we do some work around that, and just, around healing, and maybe, the first step towards their healing. So this is that. I would love for you to hop on over to my website and book a call with me. This is fun. This is an opportunity for you. This is my gift to the world. So like I said, head on over to my website, www.healthbeginswithmom.com/on-air coaching, and there are multiple places on that page to book your call. Until then, guys, I am sending you off with so much love, so many blessings, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at dorit@healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.